Putting Reading First in Maine, Segment 6, Classroom Environments.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
To best support literacy learning, deliberate decisions need to be made when organizing the classroom environment. In this video segment, examples of how to design or organize the physical environment of the classroom, literacy materials, and the classroom library will be shared. Later in the segment, special attention will be given to the effective use of literacy centers to promote independent work by students while teachers provide small group instruction. The arrangement of the physical environment promotes effective literacy instruction. Classroom furniture should fit the students. Furniture size can affect a student's ability to independently engage in activities. The classroom environment should accommodate whole group instruction, small group instruction, and learning centers. The arrangement of the classroom environment encourages students' independent movement. Literacy materials need to be plentiful to support effective instruction, and they should be organized so they are easily accessible to students and teachers. A classroom that includes a wide variety of literacy materials supports students' learning. Creative ideas such as writing with rice and using cut-out paper strips to change words can hold their attention. When materials are organized and labeled in conceptually related groups, both the students and teacher can locate and return the materials quickly and accurately. Literacy materials which can be easily accessed encourage students to use them independently or with teacher support. In this class, students find their appropriate level of books organized in book boxes. Connecting materials displayed in the classroom to current learning goals provides a sense of consistency in learning for the students. The environmental print displayed in the classroom is utilized by the students on a regular basis for reading and writing. When students' work is displayed throughout the classroom, they feel a sense of pride and ownership. A variety of technologies are available and accessible to students. A class can learn a lot from watching themselves make a reader's theater presentation. The classroom library should jump out at you when you walk into the classroom, and it should be a place students love to visit. A well-stocked classroom library is critical. Hundreds of books representing a variety of genres and reading levels are recommended to support effective literacy learning. The area where books are stored in the classroom needs to be distinct, well-labeled, and easily accessible. Arrangement of the books should be carefully organized so that students can locate and return books quickly and accurately. The display of books within the classroom library should be appealing and inviting. For example, bookshelves or baskets that show the front covers of books rather than the spines invite students to pick up the book. The book displays should also be coordinated and used with ongoing classroom learning goals and instruction. In a classroom library, large quantities of different types of reading material should be evident. They should represent a variety of genres, cultures, content areas, and student interests that are appropriate for the age range and reading levels of the students. Literacy centers promote and manage independent student learning, allowing the teacher to conduct small group instruction. Literacy center activities should be purposeful and meaningful. Activities at literacy centers relate to and build on the content of the curriculum and, in particular, should connect to the 5 essential elements of reading instruction: phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. The activities within literacy centers address concepts and skills that have been previously modeled and practiced with teacher support. Students work at literacy centers without teacher support. A workboard that shows each literacy center and the name of the students who will be attending each center directs students to the centers.
Our workboard choices for today are right here. I'd like to go over the centers and tell you who is going to be at each one.
Let's start with the red team. For our first literacy time in the morning, the red team will meet with me, T for teacher. We'll be at the reading table doing our guided reading activities. While the red team is reading, the children who are on the yellow team will go to the following centers.
They're very familiar with the expectations of the center because in the beginning of the year we introduce each center and we practice it as a class, and they have the opportunity to do the center activity several times before they actually have to do it independently.
Activities are designed to allow students to work at their own levels and extend their understanding of concepts and skills. Literacy centers allow the teacher to be flexible and responsive to the students' needs. In order to be successful, literacy centers should be gradually introduced, with the teacher first modeling how to use a literacy center and then the students practicing.
Can! Wow! I've got an A. Now what does can start with? C.
Initially, students use the literacy centers with teacher support and then without teacher support in order to achieve mastery. At a word study center, students practice phonics skills and concepts that have been introduced and modeled by the teacher. The focus of a word study center depends on the grade level and needs of the students.
Each week the children will do a word wall activity. This week they're using words from the last 4 weeks of word wall study to play a probability game.
At a poetry center, students engage in fluency practice as they read and reread various poems with expression and phrasing.
They'll go to the poetry center, practice reading a poem, then take a cut-up version of the poem and sequence that, and then illustrate their own copy.
At a listening center, students can listen to books on tape or CD and are exposed to a wide variety of literature which they may not be able to read independently. Students are free from the demands of decoding and can practice their comprehension strategies. Listening to someone else read a story, students are also able to hear fluent reading that incorporates expression, intonation, and phrasing. A writing center stocked with a wide variety of writing materials encourages students to frequently engage in writing for different purposes and about a variety of topics.
It is here that all of the writing supplies are stored, as well as any resources that the students may need to complete their writing.
Students can create stories, poems, letters, lists, or books at the Writing Center, depending on the focus designated by the teacher and the interest and needs of the students.
Currently at the Writing Center, the children are working on an activity called a squiggle drawing, where they have a shape that they can create a picture out of that and then write about their picture.
Technology can easily be integrated into the organization and use of literacy centers by designing a center that houses 1 or 2 computers in the classroom. Various software titles are available that encourage students to interact with books, explore phonemic awareness or phonics skills, or build vocabulary. Teachers can also bookmark several websites so that students can safely explore the Internet. Here in a first-grade classroom, the teacher depends on her students to work independently on meaningful tasks as she conducts a guided reading lesson. In the listening center, students read a book together, while other students transfer what they've heard to drawings. And while some students are following an exercise on computers, some of their classmates are practicing reading a poem and then reconstructing it using cutout phrases. Others are learning how to build words. And still others are writing down what they've learned from a reading about polar bears. In this third-grade classroom, the teacher has also set up several activities at literacy centers where her students work independently while she runs a guided reading group. In one center, students use I Spy books to build their writing vocabulary as they describe how everyday objects in the pictures represent other items in the illustrations. At another center, students compose friendly letters to classmates. Students at a second writing center turn a squiggly line into a picture which they use as the basis of a descriptive piece of writing. Meanwhile, other students listen to a piece of literature and complete an extension activity. When designing reading instruction that supports students' needs, a well-organized physical environment, rich literacy materials, a well-stocked classroom library, and independent literacy centers should all be part of the plan.